Hi, welcome back to the Raw Intuition channel podcast. Wherever you're listening to this on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcast, I don't know, Anchor, a lot of places. You can listen to it on like whatever podcast. But this video is mostly for YouTube because I have the visual recording going. Welcome. If you have not been to my channel, I do and talk about everything astrology because that's what I want to do, and it's my channel and I do whatever I want, and I like that. So I'm doing my moon reflection series in this episode, and I am on Cancer because I was too busy to do my moon in Gemini the last couple of days. Which totally makes sense because the moon was in Gemini, but I will make that a priority for next month to do it. But that's all you need to know about the moon in Gemini is it's too busy. But anyways, the moon is now in Cancer and I am having a lunar return. And if your moon is in Cancer, you are also having a lunar return, which is really not that fantastical because it happens every single month. So no matter what sign you are, you will have a lunar return every month. And that is when the sun gets back to the position it was when you were born. And the moon moves so quickly that it does that every month, and which is great. And so it's a great time to come back to yourself, do some self-reflection, get in touch with your feels, and all of those good things. It's like a good benchmark to be like, okay, I'm starting a fresh month. If you don't want to follow the new moon, full moon, which depending on how your chart is, they might work better to do it during your lunar return, or it might work better during the new moon, but don't do new stuff on the full moon usually. But so I wanted to talk about that the moon, if you didn't see my other videos, is about nurturing and how you were nurtured, how you like to nurture, and usually how you perceived the nurturing you got as a child. And if you projected that nurturing onto a specific person, which usually in our culture, it is usually the mother. However, even more so, that is the mother and father usually are sharing a lot of the nurturing roles, which is nice. Or there's mother, father, sister, cousin, uncle, grandma, whatever, could be your nurturer. And so, however, your moon will experience that nurturing through your moon. The moon in Cancer is one that really can go they all can go different ways because there's a double-sided coin to each of them. So the moon really enjoys that nurturing connection with a nurturer. And so if they don't have that, that is very hard on a Cancer. And they will definitely seek that out from other people, or, through relationships or anything like that. If, however, they can have a very nurturing caregiver. Mine was my grandmother, who really represented that moon and Cancer energy for me. She was great. She made nice, fun pancakes and all the meals, and food is a very big love language for the moon in Cancer. So you have to be careful with that. But food is great. And as long as it's nutritious and you're not overdoing it, that definitely is and should be a love language for everyone, in my opinion, because I have 4 planets in Cancer. And yeah. So anyways, the Cancer this is very intuitive. So moon is also your intuition, right? And Cancer is very intuitive in general. And when the Cancer is in home in the moon, that's where, because Cancer rules the moon. So Cancer is at home there. That is where Cancer is the most comfortable, and Cancer loves to be comfortable, cozy. They don't typically like to wear things that will make them uncomfortable, or, you know, the environment, the home environment needs to be very cozy and comfortable. There is an emphasis on intuition and the feels. And so if you have an afflicted, which is when you have planets that are more difficult in a hard aspect to the moon, or in regular people talk, if you have a wound to your emotions and you have an emotional wound, that's how you would say that normally, I guess. I don't speak normal people language very often, but like, so you have an emotional wound, you definitely are going, the Cancer moon feels it, and is going to want to compensate for that with lots of cozy bedtime, lots of yummy foods, kind of like Taurus, but they do have some similar energies there. But you are gonna want to have, Cancer's learning how to give and receive nurturing. That is the lesson of Cancer. That is the lesson of the moon. So when the moon is in Cancer, we want to evaluate how we are giving nurturing and how we are receiving it. And if it is in alignment with the rest of our values and our beliefs and our life, if it's productive, if it's benefiting us, right? Because sometimes we seek out nurturing in ways that does not benefit us. And most people have experiences with it, but you know, it's harder to talk about. The mind moon has so much going on with it, you guys. Oh my God. No, I'm just kidding. So anyways, I'm gonna pull from this deck of my grandmother Pershlie cards. What is this one? It says speak. Well, whatever. I'm gonna pull from the cards with grandmother Pershlie, and because the grandmother is the ultimate nurturing energy, especially for me, because I was like partially raised by my grandmother. So I love these cards. They always do what I need them to do. And what are we talking about? What do you have to say about the moon in Cancer? What am I not talking about? So respect. Oh, okay. So this is the respect card, like got a bunch of trees on it. And I like that. It reminds me of Pocahontas when the trees was like giving her wisdom and talking to her and like, you know, did the little dap in the water with the ripples and all that. Anyway, today I will honor the wisdom of my father in the words he shared when he told me, you don't have to fear anything in life as long as you treat everyone and anything with respect. With respect, you can conquer anything. I will respect the opinions and ideas of others. I will respect the rights, religion, and beliefs of others. I will respect all creations and will honor their purpose. I will respect the focus of the universe, especially all the forces that are beyond my control. Today, I will honor the words of my father by being respectful. Well, that's just like good life advice in general. So, but you know, Cancer actually, when Cancer does not, especially if you have an afflicted moon or like, right, you have emotional wounds and stuff and you're not getting nurturing, Cancer has a reputation for being the most angry and resentful about that and can get pretty disrespectful. So there's like the sun signs in Cancer are actually known for committing the most crimes of violent crimes. And usually like crimes of passion, right? Like they're all like Jodi Arias and OJ Simpson have the same birthday, and they're both Cancers. I think it's like July. Oh, why don't I remember? I used to know. But anyways, it's like earlier July, like July 12th or something like that, or 7th. Maybe it's the 7th. But they're earlier Cancers. And so that emotional wound, if you do not address it and you do not learn how to reciprocate and how to provide nurturing and receive nurturing in healthy ways, and nobody like taught you that, or somehow you were unable to receive that, there is that Cancer energy that can be very hurt about it and can get like a victim mentality. And so I definitely am familiar with the victim mentality, and I have my fair share of pity parties. And I just let myself have a pity party, and then I cried out or whatever I'm going to do about it, go to the gym, go swimming. Swimming, I'm going to do that right now, actually. I have an appointment at the gym at 9:30, and I don't care about how you feel about me going to the gym, because in a pandemic, right? Because those you need, I just need it so bad, because the water just heals me. And when I'm in the water, I get like all this channeling type of where I just get all these ideas, and I feel so rejuvenated and at one. I mean, showers are great for that too, but there's nothing like going swimming to heal my spirit. So I definitely need that. I go when like no one's there, and you know, you do all the things, and I take all the Lysol wipes, and I wear my mask, and I do all the stuff. And so we avoid people. There's like no one there at this time of night, which is awesome. So if you are like me and really, really need that, going with water or going into water, even if it's just taking a bath, is very, very helpful. I definitely feel a lot better after doing that. But there's a lot of other ways to work with that energy. I'm going to pull a Mudra card too. So these are my Mudra cards. And for awakening the 5 elements, Mudras. And this one uses ether as an element, which I love. I love that it uses the ether. I think of the ether as just like that space that's just where my brain goes. So I pull these cards to be like, what do we need to balance out this moon? So if you're like watching this and it's a, you know, not a Cancer moon day, you were meant to think about Cancer right now. I really, have learned to believe, because I'm so resistant in believing anything, but I choose to believe in synchronicity because it serves me well in my life. And I've noticed that it works, that if you're coming across this video, and it's probably because you need to hear something in it, even if it's because you need to hear something that you think I say is stupid, or even if it's because you need to disagree with me because you didn't realize that you had that idea of disagreement. That's still needing to hear what I have to say. And so I definitely stability. So that's funny that I pulled stability, because when I was talking about the Taurus moon, and this is an Earth card, is how Earth can very much stabilize the moon. So I love that I got an Earth card and that it says stability. So if you didn't see my moon in Taurus video, you can go back and see like what I'm referring to as far as, the moon in Taurus energy being able to stabilize the fluctuating emotions of the moon. So if you are like me and have a moon in Cancer and you kind of go with the flows of the moods, right? So a great way is to grounding and getting in touch with Earth. And, sometimes that's just putting your feet flat on the ground and just, taking deep breaths and being present in your material world and recognizing what's in front of you, you know, what's behind you, looking at all those things. But let's see what this card says, because I've never actually read this card before. It says, assist in releasing, calming, and grounding. Benefits: reduces stress and anxiety, relieves effect on the pelvis and lower body, helping with menstrual issues. Okay, so the moon definitely, if you're a female, will relate to your menstrual issues, and you'll start noticing cycles. I've been very blessed though that I don't have a lot of those issues at all. I stay pretty active, which helps me. But if you do, I know like moon and Scorpio people, they tend to have a lot, but we'll talk about that when we get there. The pelvis supports all eliminatory processes. Been getting a lot of cards about eliminatory processes, so it's interesting. Earth element and instruction. So touch the tip of your thumbs to, what is it? This one? This one's a pretty easy one. So you can do this, right? So you're touching the tips of your thumbs to the tips of the middle and ring fingers of each hand. Allow the other fingers to extend straight out, palms facing up. Rest the backs of the hand on thighs, knee, or in the lap. Relax shoulders and lengthen spine. So you want to sit up straight. I release and trust as I send my roots deep into the earth. Ooh. I release and trust as I send my roots deep into the earth. And I don't laugh out of like trying to joke about this because it is serious, but I just like to laugh at life because like, I don't know, why so serious? You know what I mean? Like this is serious stuff, but we don't have to keep a straight face about it. Like we can still smile about it. We can still laugh about it. And if sometimes it feels kind of silly, and I think it's good to admit that and get it out, especially when you're on camera and you're not used to being on camera like me. But I do like to just laugh about life. And as I'm grounding and placing my feet onto the ground and just imagining the roots coming out from my feet and going into the ground and placing roots. So this is so good if you feel like you're just like being pushed around, like by, and Cancer is a very empathic energy, okay? All the water signs are. Or intuitive, you know, empathic is like an umbrella term that a lot of people don't agree with, so I don't like it, but sensitive, intuitive, 100% Cancer is definitely those things. And so it'll pick up the surrounding energies and just kind of like take you and jerk you around if you're not careful and you don't stay grounded, which I have to remind myself to do all the time. Especially if you care about people, or you're nervous, you know, we'll like look into our environment and try to absorb what's going on. And sometimes you take on things that aren't yours. And that goes for like any, you know, there's a lot of different signs, placements, whatever that can go through that. And so if that's you, or you know somebody who goes through that, like you have a partner or spouse or anything who goes through just, if they're in an environment, they tend to just suck up that energy and then they have a hard time releasing it, is to do grounding before you subject yourself to sometimes, you know, social things or just people, you know, like if you know that your mother-in-law or anybody that you know is going to affect you, then you want to ground yourself before you go, right? And imagine that you have your roots and they are digging into the ground and you are like a tree, and the waves, they're not going to take you nowhere because you're grounded. The wind, not going to take you nowhere, you know? I mean, a fire, just kidding. But, you know, we want to be able to be flexible and then lift our roots up when we need to. and then be able to put them back down if we need to be grounded again. And that is the joys of having feet, right? Because the joys of being flexible is that we can be flexible. And so if there is a fire coming and you're rooted and need to get out of the way, you can. So take that metaphor as, you know, loose or as strict as you want. But I liked that card. I like this moon series. So I'm going to try to do another one for Leo. So hopefully I'll make that one. And like I said, next month when the moon's in Gemini, I will make it a priority to hit that one next month. And thank you for watching.